Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Aisha. I'm back with another video. This one is for my 20-something teens out there. I want to talk about that whole concept about 20-something blues. And in my opinion, it's not something that we really need to be worried about, dive deep into, but it's a thing that a lot of 20-year-olds definitely feel like is holding them back, bringing them down, causing depression, anxiety, So this is what it says online about what either mid-20-something blues or late 20-something blues, or even sometimes the early 20 blues. And it says especially because those of us were hit with the COVID-19, we lost like a couple of years of normal socialization and interaction with people. So they say it can either be onset by post-college, you're having an inevitable identity crisis, or the 20s are a time of transition and change, and this can be difficult and stressful time for many people. The pressure to succeed in a career, relationships, finding a sense of identity can take a toll on mental health, and that's from 20sandthriving.com. What causes depression in 20s? It says research has indicated that depression has typically onset during the mid-20s. This complex mood disorder can be triggered by a variety of factors, including genetic predisposition, personality, stress, and brain chemistry. That's from manulife.ca. What is the hardest decade of life? The 20s. It's the phase where so many things change in our lives, and it happens so fast. There's angst, discovery, unpredictability, and a sense of self-realization. It's the time we truly leave childhood behind and enter a whole new world of responsibility. And that's from indiatimes.com. So my thought about the 20-something blues is I can admit I felt 20-something blues a couple of times. I would say once was when I was just turning 20. I would say that's because I was exploring new things and trying out some different, social activities, I could say. And then the next time would be when I started realizing that your friends can be your biggest haters and enemies. And I never had to experience that before I was in my 20s. I never lost a friend from like backstabbing or some type of big blow up. And then the third time I would say was 2020, right? Kind of at the end of the lockdown, but still where it was the pandemic going on, and I was teaching, and I finally realized this is not something I want to do. Like, I do not enjoy teaching. I do not enjoy following all these rules. I do not enjoy not being able to create my own curriculum. I do not enjoy having to tell the kids certain things to do that I don't even agree with doing. So I would say for my suggestions, if you're feeling this way, is that it's probably just a time for change. I would say try everything. Why do you have to limit yourself? So yeah, some people have that path of, I'm going to go to high school, going to get high ACT, SAT scores. I'm going to go to a very upstanding, known university for 4 year. Then I'm going to get a master's degree for another 2 years. And I'm going to pursue a career in this, and I'm going to stick with that career until I retire. That's some people's route. And then other people's route is I'm going to go to trade school, learn the skill and make some money, and then keep building on, getting more skills, getting more certificates, and etc. Then some other people are like, I'm going to start my own business. I'm going to be self-employed. And other people is, I'm going to get married, have kids, and be a housewife or a house mom. Everyone's path is different, and there is no one right path, and who's to say what you have to do? Why can't you try different paths? That's how I knew when I felt a little bit of down or anxious or lost, it was just a sign to me that this isn't fulfilling me anymore. This is no longer a passion. This is not something that I find joy in. So it's time for me to make the necessary changes and actions to pursue something different and try something new. That's what I did. I noticed that when I was in school, one major didn't work, so I switched majors. Who says you can't switch majors? Nobody. You can do whatever you want to do. And then I realized by the time I was finished graduating, oh my gosh, I really don't enjoy doing this that much. The rules, I've never been one. For sports, I would follow the rules, but other than that, I kind of knew certain things didn't matter that much. Like, for example, in high school and middle school, even I remember there was a student once in middle school in my math who she forgot her homework. First time she ever not turned her homework in time, and she was having a huge anxiety attack. And I've always been the one that kind of consoles people for some reason. It's just something I've always done. And I was trying to console her. I was telling her, you'll be fine. You've never been late. You've never missed an assignment. You get all A's, 100% on everything. You raise your hand to answer questions. You give comments. The teacher is going to give you a pass today if you forgot your homework at home. You'll be just fine. You can turn it in tomorrow. Or I was the kid who was sometimes not turning my homework in at all, copying someone else's homework, or just rushing and turning it in right before it was due, because I knew at the end of the day when I was 30, me turning this assignment in or not doing it right or not really paying attention to it is not going to matter, because I'm never going to use this again. Or if I do need to use it again, I'll relearn the skill if I need it on YouTube or in university. So it's really your mindset. You don't have to think of your 20-somethings as 20-something blues. It's kind of probably just another way for people to feel okay and normalized because other people are experiencing this. It's kind of like the shared trauma bonding idea. And you don't have to go through that. You can just say, you know what? I'm accepting accountability for all the choices I made, something that I had to learn to do. I can no longer blame anyone. I'm an adult now. I made these choices, so I have to deal with the consequences. And change. Do whatever you need to do to change. If you want to lose weight, start eating fewer calories a day. If you want to start dating, go out there and date. If you want to switch careers, switch careers. If you want to start working on your own business, start working on your business. But usually for me, when I am feeling confused, lost, I know it's time for me to flip, transition, move to the next level, read up something new, learn a new skill. So that's what I would recommend you out there to do if you are feeling the 20-something blues. You don't need to feel them. Think positively. It's not 20-something blues. It's just a transition. It's just a new journey. It's just a new path. And there is no set time frame for you to complete your goals. They're your goals. You can finish them when you're ready to finish them. It's never too late to start changing and making new goals and living a new, different lifestyle. I don't know who told you what, who told you this, who told you that. It's never too late unless you're on your deathbed. And even then, you could still mend some things while you're on your deathbed before you go. So as I wanted to talk about the 20-something blues, and it doesn't have to be negative. It could be positive, transitional phase. There are no timelines in life. You don't have to have a master's degree because some of the girls in your class graduated with and got a master's degree. You don't have to have a house because some of your friends you knew or somebody you know has a house. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that just because other people are doing it or because you think that's what you're supposed to be doing. You do what you want to do as long as you're not hurting anyone else, and do what makes you happy. Do what brings you joy. And you won't feel the 20-something blues because you're doing what you want to do. You're living up to your own standards, you're creating your own life that you enjoy. It doesn't matter what anyone else has to say. It doesn't matter what people are shaming you for not doing something right or doing it the way they want you to do. And I know that's a big thing with women. If we're not married and we don't have kids at a certain time, it's people like look at us oddly and kind of crazy, and men, if you don't have a certain role in your job at a certain age, people look at you weird and funny. I say as long as you're working towards your goals, you're making the steps in your life to live the life that you dream of, that's all that really matters. And just keep doing that, keep working. Make the necessary changes and switches that you need. You can always switch and change. There's never too many switches. Never too many changes. For me, I'm a person who has interest in many different things, and I will go out and pursue those and try them out and see which ones I like and how can I make money from here? How can I make money from there? Or let me see what I can get out of this or who I can meet from that. And it makes life more enjoyable. That's another tip I would say. Just try out new things. If you have an idea, try it out. If you have a new restaurant you want to go and look at, go by yourself and go look. If you can't find someone else to go with, or you just want to go during lunch break. If you want to try this new career, go shadow someone or go and ask if they're allowing people to tour the facility or whatever. Just go out in there and do it. Who's stopping you? Who's saying you can't do something? If you have an idea, you have something you've been wanting to do, who's telling you that you can't? And whoever they are, they're irrelevant, and you can start distancing yourself from them now. But we don't have to have the 20-something blues. Hopefully we will stop talking about it. It'll go away eventually for the next generation. They won't have to experience it. But what do they say? Comparison is a thief of joy, or that saying quote is something like that. Comparison is the thief of joy. Comparison something. Yeah, so just focus on you. Keep doing what you need to do to get to the goals that you have set for yourself. Switch up, change up. And I think that's all I have to say about the 20-something blues or the 20-something transitional phase, because we're going to switch it up and make it positive, because we know that we have to think a positive and live a positive life. And then as I keep thinking of ideas, I just thought I would share this too. Another way that I was able to overcome my 20-something blues is diet and lifestyle changes. So there was a time that I ate lots of junk food, but I still balanced it out with a lot of fresh foods. It's weird. I've always had a good balance of junk food and fresh food. But then on top of that, I would eat a lot of red meats, dairy products. I would buy regular cow's milk and use that for my foods. But then in about, I would say 2018, I started transitioning and shifting. I had a vegetarian roommate my sophomore year, and she introduced me to a lot of new diets. And then I slowly changed. And then finally, like 2018, 2019, I finally started doing like 1 year, no red meat, 1 year, no pork, 1 year, no dairy whatsoever. And then I started mixing it up. So maybe for the couple 6 months, I won't drink. no smoking or no red meat for this month, and then I can have a couple of meals with red meat in it next month. So I would suggest, if you're feeling down and out, I really do believe the food that we ingest has a huge effect on us, our frequencies, our vibes, our energy, our life. So maybe you might want to look into changing your diet to a healthier, more of a fresh foods diet, and cutting out a lot of the drinking and smoking or any drugs that you may be participating in. Cut those out or limit them to every blue moon or for certain celebrations. But I would say those, they call them depressors. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to make you feel down and low. So that's not going to help your 20-something blues. That's going to make you feel worse. How much can you get done if you're smoking all day? How creative can you be if you're drunk all day? And are you really reaching your goals if you're inebriated and you can't do anything, and then you're sick the next day because you have a hangover? So that's just an idea. Changing up your diet and your lifestyle a little bit, maybe adding in a couple of workout routines or get some more exercise or move your body a bit more in the day. Your friend group too, it might be time to adjust that and change it up. If you're around a lot of negative people or unlucky people all the time, that's not going to help you feel any better. They're going to bring you down, trauma dump. I've had to tell a couple people to please ask me before you start trauma dumping. It's not right to just go on and just full on people about your worries and woes without even a warning. And it's just like, what? I didn't want to talk about this today. We're supposed to be out here for happy hour and do this or do that. Especially if it's about something you told them so many times what to do already, and they're just not listening and doing the same thing over and over again. Obviously, you don't want to move on from the situation. So why do we have to keep talking about it? I don't want to be your trauma therapist. Go speak to an actual therapist, please. Or you could start paying me to do this, because this is not enjoyable for me. And family and friends, a lot of people will be giving you advice. And I had to honestly tell my parents about 3 weeks ago when I was visiting, please don't give me any advice for the next year. Just don't. And if you do, I'm not going to listen. And no disrespect, but I just need to make my own choices and be accountable for my own decisions. And even when you don't take advice or listen to everyone's opinions on things, and you just follow your own instincts, your own heart, your own drive, your own, dreams, then you'll be more, I would say, motivated. You'll be held accountable. You'll be in the front seat for all the choices you make. You cannot blame anybody, and you're going to work even harder and focus on more things now, because you can't mess up, you can't fail. And then again, it's even if you happen to this journey, this opportunity did not work out, you learn something new. So for the next venture you make, you know what to do and what not to do. So it's not even a fail. It's okay, I got it. I got to change this up for next time, and I will be able to succeed in this avenue for the second time around, because I learned from the first time that this doesn't work out that way. So it's important to not take everyone's advice and opinions, and just sometimes just cut out all the noise and just do what you feel like you need to do, and just work on yourself, because it's your life at the end of the day. You can't blame anyone for your choices. Now we're in our 20s. It's all up to you. It's on you. Whatever your life looks like now is on you, and you have to take full accountability for it. Keep going, and don't take anyone's opinions or advice, especially if they're not even living the life or the dream that you have for yourself. And even if they are, you may not want to do what they had to do to get there. So just keep working it out. I always suggest journaling. If you feel like you really need to see a therapist, go see a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a therapist, a counselor. Do what you need to do. But you got to stand up. You can't be a victim. You got to shake this off, and you got to keep going, because the world's going to keep going and nobody's going to look back for you. So you just have to keep it moving, keep pushing, make your own choices, your own decisions. And speaking of that, I post pictures, videos of my skin journey for my hidradenitis, folliculosis, and then now I have rosacea, adult acne. And it's like people are sending me recommendations. First off, I will let you know if I need recommendations. And then second off, my stuff is clearing up. Like, I'm doing really well. What do I need recommendations for? This is gone. I'm good. I got it together. Thank you. So I figured out what I needed to do, and I did it. So I'm good. My skin and my face, it's clearing up. The dermatologist, I want to try the pills next, because obviously the topical creams are not working. And then I think I might be allergic to some of my makeup. I don't know what's going on, because I notice I get inflamed after I put makeup on. And it's not my brushes or my sponges being dirty, because I keep those clean for the most part. So it must be something from the makeup, and I don't know. It's weird, because I keep my makeup fresh. I follow the recommended time that they say to have them for, which is usually 1 year. I get makeup every year. So hopefully they don't have any bacteria in them. But then again, I think it's something internally, because my acne flared up when I first moved to New Zealand. It started flaring up when I was there. And I was eating real fresh food there. So it couldn't have been my diet. And I wasn't stressed out, I would say, because I was enjoying myself. So something just was switched up with my hormones, probably, because, that was the age. Well, I was turning it like to my, how old was I? 24. Yeah. So 24, 25, maybe. So that's me just trying to think. But anyways, y'all, the next video I want to talk about is It's Never Too Late. And then after that, I'm thinking like, stop caring, because those are things I hear when I'm like chit-chatting with people just on the regular, on the street. They talk about how much they really care about what other people think, or they say they can't do something because it would look weird, or it's like they're too old for this, or they can't do this because they have 2 kids. Why are you all putting these limits on yourself? You're limitless. You don't have any limits. You can do and accomplish whatever you set your mind to. You don't have to put caps on your own life. That's crazy to me. I would never do that. I think I can even switch other dimensions. And I started looking up my birth numbers, because this year You know, my birthday represents eternity. It represents everlasting. It represents money, abundance. It represents strength. And then I also turned 28 on top of that. So this year, some things are coming. Some grand things are coming to my life. I'm claiming it. I'm believing it. I'm working towards it, because this is my year right here. Every year is my year, but this year, especially from what my birth date is and how old I am, it's going to be some big things, and I got to put them into work and put them in action. So we'll see what happens. Never know. Thanks for watching 20-something blues. Let's switch it to 20-something transitional year. Transitions, new journeys, new opportunities, trying new things. Not looking back, looking to the future, adjusting, learning from our decisions that didn't have the best ending for us. Because it's our life, we create it, and we cannot blame anyone else. We have to keep going, because no one's going to look back to see if we're okay, right? I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.